Yahoo! That's right. That's how we start the Rise and Grind show in Calgary on this day. Because guess what? It is Calgary Stampede. Do you know what that means to us? It means that there's actually nobody else online. Our connection are awesome. So we might have a great picture, great sound, and a great show this morning. Wow, what a week it's been. We had a couple of really, really amazing talkers this week. One event in Edmonton, one event at Calgary South, and just mind-blowing story. Like some of these women that come and share their stories have gone through such unbelievable stuff. And they are so positive, so loving, so supporting. I just love what I do. I really, really, really do. And this week, this month, actually, whenever I go to any of the events, I'm going to talk about making wrong decisions. Because Lord knows I'm kind of a pro at this. I have made many, many wrong decisions. But you know what? Often when you make a wrong decision, it takes you on a whole new path that you would have never gone on if you had made the right decision. And the other thing is too, you never know if it's the right or wrong decision until you make the decisions. So let's make a decision right now, and I'm going to decide to bring Nancy Seeger, Women Talk CEO Squared, on board. Good morning, Nancy.
Woohoo! Happy Stampede, everybody.
No. It's not woohoo. Come on.
Yahoo. I didn't say woohoo. It's Yahoo!
There you go. You're a Calgarian. Everybody, I know, and you know, it takes a long time because everybody says Yahoo.
Yeah, it's funny.
But everybody that's in Calgary, but anybody else that doesn't live in Calgary, they usually don't say Yahoo.
Well, that's kind of a Western thing, and it's Stampede related. It's just historically,
But it took me a long time. I would always say woohoo, and people go, "No, Brigitte, it's Yahoo." Took me years, and every once in a while I revert back, and people just go, "Oh, there she goes again."
Well, see, and I was born and raised here, so that's the only one I've ever heard. It's like,
well, okay, let's get clear on something. I am French Canadian. I knew nothing about cowboys, nothing about horses. I didn't even know what Levi's were, and it took me 2 years to figure out in 1982 what that little circle was on their back pockets.
And I gotta say, if you didn't grow up with cowboys in tight jeans and the rodeo, you just missed a whole era development that is probably explains a lot about you.
I even had, so finally I realized, that circle on the back pocket was chewing tobacco. Then I was like, who does what? And, they look so gross. And so one day these old guys, like they were in their 70s, and I worked in a bar at the time. I was 18. So they convinced me I should try it.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. That is like, who does that? And why?
Well, and now it's all mint flavored and lavender, and you can get everything under the sun. It still is crap.
Oh my God, that makes it even worse. Chewing tobacco with lavender. Good God.
I know.
That's like right there. That's a wrong decision. People, don't do chewing tobacco. That road, don't go down that road.
And if you do, just talk to another cowboy. You'll see what it looks like in a few years.
Oh, yeah. Good God. Anyway, hey, you were at the Calgary South event last night. How was that?
The room was, I think we had, I don't know, over 30 people, 35 people or something. It was packed. The energy was electric. It was unbelievable. Carol Lee and Michelle did such a fantastic job getting people into the room and engaging with everybody. The speakers were out of this world. Shannon Miller, of course, with her beautiful, lovely daughter and the tragic murder of her 5 years ago.
So I got to ask you about Shannon. Like, isn't she just the most incredible human being.
Oh,
Like there's no bitterness about her.
and it's so interesting because when you meet somebody like Shannon, what you see is nothing but pure love in her soul. Like she's just this bright person who vibrates on her own level and just seems to bring a warm hug around her. She's just this fantastic personality. It was so wonderful to hear her story. And even when she shares her story, my kid said to me, Mom, you better have lots of Kleenex on the table for that one. It wasn't this melancholy, feel sorry for me. It's not a tragedy that was described as a tragedy. It's an empowering story about how she moved from wounded to warrior. It's all about her journey and her self-awareness. And it's so important to listen to her message. Oh my God, she's so brilliant.
I know. Shannon, if you're listening, you need to become a member because we want everybody to hear your story. Like, come on, it's so powerful.
So powerful, so powerful. But the other speakers were also phenomenal last night.
We had one of our co-directors, Cheryl Anderson, speaking.
Well, and let me get to Cheryl. But before that, we had another young lady. Should have checked this. I think it's Lisa Belter. Is that right?
I think so. Something like that. Don't ask me names.
Okay.
Put me on the spot.
Sorry. Hey, you put me on the spot all the time.
Okay, fair enough.
And she had a fantastic story about her growth and coming through bipolar. Amazing story. Amazing story. And of course, our motivational speaker was Yvonne, and she tapped into all of this and talking about our gifts and the things that we have and we may not be aware of, which was phenomenal. And then your co-director from Cochrane, Cheryl, wrapped up the evening in this nice little bow, talking about her personal stories and how all of these tied together and how connected we all are and how fantastic it was to tie this all together and kind of deliver it in this nice little package that really was about the journeys that we take and how we step into it and owning it and, being confident in who we are. She just delivered it so amazingly.
And you did the biz talk. So what did you talk about?
Ooh, well, I had a fun story last night, and that was actually the first time I delivered it. But last night I was talking about the power of focus. And we were laughing because I got to one-up you, Brigitte, because I told my skydiving story and I did it solo, not tandem. So I got the one-up on that one.
Okay, you know what? I had a young, very good-looking lad strapped to my back. So, and it had been years since I had a man riding me.
Okay, you win on that one. I'll give you that point. But no, it was fantastic. We were talking about the power of focus and how what you focus on and what you become, and how we kind of miss the point about what we're supposed to be focusing on. It ties into your wrong decisions because I'm not going to spoil the story, but there's a little trick that skydiving coaches do to get you to participate and to actually let go of the plane.
And push you?
Well, that's part of the story. I'm not going to go there. But the point is that there's tricks that they have to use to get you to focus on what they need to get you to focus on. And you talk about wrong decisions. Going skydiving and stepping out of a plane could be considered one of them for most of us.
Sweet Jesus, that's high energy. I'm telling you, when you get out of that door, it's like, and I'm sorry, but the F word just came out of my mouth when I jumped out, and then my hands went like this, and I was just like, oh my God. Yeah. You could actually see it.
And it's so funny because when you're totally in control and you're doing a lower altitude dive, the experience is calming. Because you literally you're steering yourself and you're just kind of floating around and doing
because your chute opens up right away, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was going to say, so mine was 14,500 feet and you're free falling for a full 60 seconds. It was like, oh my God.
Yeah. And that's a whole different kind of rush.
But you're not in control, right? Because there's somebody taking care of everything.
And that's the whole point. When you're not in control, that's where a lot of us make the wrong decisions. And that's where we freak out.
So we have 2 events next week. So let's bring that up. No, I lied.
I was going to say, we have 3 events next week.
We have lots of events always. So we are in Ottawa, Cochrane, and Langdon.
Yeah.
So it's going to be another fabulous week.
Fabulous, fabulous. And with so many great speakers, as you heard, last night's was phenomenal. These ones are going to fill up as well. Even though it's Stampede Week, there'll be some interesting conversations going on there. And hopefully some colorful cowboy hats and Western gear. I'm the only one in denim this morning.
Oh, well, yeah, I didn't think of that. What the heck? I was too busy doing stuff. I'm going to, next Friday, it's still Stampede. Okay, I'll be all decked out for you. I have the best, well, would a pink cowboy hat, little kids one work?
It works. It works. I was going to wear my black cowboy hat, but I thought, you know what, on camera, you wouldn't see my face.
Okay, so let's talk about the convention. So we mentioned last week that we are sold out for the $2,000 corporate sponsor packages, but we still have spots open for the regular packages. Right. Tell us about it, Nancy.
So the regular speaking packages are a fantastic opportunity for a business owner to get on stage. And it's part of what I was talking about last night with that focus. Focus on what you want. You don't have to build your audience alone. We have a community. Buy a spot on the stage. You get 3 training sessions with Brigitte and I over the next 6 weeks to help you deliver your call to action, fine-tune your process, and really put it together so that when you're on stage telling your personal story, you're connecting with the people who really want to know, like, and trust you. You've removed some of the barriers, and they're ready to move forward.
Cool. And just before we bring our guests on board, we have this new contest going on that you put together. And actually, it's going really well. People are really signing up and sharing, and it's so fun.
It is so fun, and it's so easy to participate. I think you've got the link in the comments there as well. And what it is you literally click this link, put in your name and email, and it'll give you options on how to share and join our Facebook groups for the different cities that you're interested in, for participating. And because it's so important to have people participating in that, the more you share it and the more you join and participate, that's all you have to do. But you get to win free prizes. And most of them the prizes are all around attending these great monthly events for free. So every time somebody gets 10 points, there's no limit on them. There's no restrictions. Just get out there and get your points in there, and we'll automatically send you a free ticket to get you into that event of your choice.
Oh, well, let's bring our guest on board, the wonderful Shauna Marie. Hello.
Yahoo!
Oh, look at her go.
I'm not great at Yahooing because I'm from Red Deer, but I can pretend I'm from here because I know what a butt looks like on a guy in jeans, and I know what that round thing is because they did that in Red Deer too. Not pleasant whether you're from Red Deer or anywhere else, except for how it looks on the back end of a. Since we're talking about men and all sorts of skydiving with them, I might as well jump right in.
Jump right in. So, tell us about you, Shauna Marie.
Shauna Mary.
Shauna Mary.
I answered anything.
Anything we want you to be.
Anything you want me to be, I will be that for you. I am an author, a speaker, and a life coach type mentor. What's the catchword of the day? I mentor people who've had either a cancer journey or they've had a chronic illness, something along those lines, where their systems are not running full bore. So whatever's going on, whether it's stress, I work with women, I work with men, I work with children as well. So you're muted.
Audience about your story with your ex-husband and how that all went about for you, because that's an amazing story, and I think you're so beautiful.
Thank you. Well, I was, I'll start off what I was living in Italy and I wasn't feeling well. And so I went to the doctor, the lady I was staying with. I went to the doctor, which I thought was the doctor, but it was the pharmacist. And in Italy, they do things much more holistically. And so this pharmacist started asking me questions. And you think, okay, I know what questions you're going to ask. You know, how are you feeling? How long are you coughing? Do you have a temperature? But no, she started with, why did you come to Italy? Who did you leave behind? Are you married? Do you have kids? What are your kids' names? What are you doing? How are you with them? Do you have a good relationship? Do you have friends here in Italy? And I was tired. My head was full of, I was sick. And finally she blew up with this one question. She said, do you have a lover? I thought, okay, I am on candid camera in Italy and something's crazy. And so this led me down a path of why I was supposed to do this. So her prescription was cough drops, and she wanted me to sit out on the bench in my bare feet and twirl and be happy. Twirl. I needed
That's
to. That's
interesting.
No, it took me a long time, but now I'm twirling every day. I walk to the gym and I twirl. You can't be unhappy when you're twirling or skipping, which I found. And so then a few years later, after I got back here, my ex-husband, Ron, was diagnosed with cancer. And I was with him one night. It was actually at Stampede. The kids were out at Stampede. They were taking care of him. And he had said, we were having a conversation about our girls and our life. And he said, cancer gave more than it took. And it just floored me. I thought, how do you get to this point? Because he knew he didn't have much time left. And he said, cancer gave more than it took.
Isn't that an unbelievable statement?
It's so beautiful. And he believed it, that even though he didn't want what was eventually to come, he believed that he learned something from this time. And so that just took me off on another path of almost like a tangent. There must be other people out here that believe this. How do they get there? What happens? Why do you have the strength and the fortitude to move forward with finding something good in what we believe is the worst possible thing? I mean, there are anything happening to our children, of course, is paramount. But how do you get to cancer, death, something gave more than it took?
It's just an amazing, amazing statement. And, I always say you don't have control over what happens to you, but you get to decide the meaning of it.
Yes. And we all know that intellectually, but how do we get it from our head to our heart to our head? And that's where I come in, because after interviewing all these people, there are certain steps they take, maybe in different form, but they get there along similar pathways.
I love that. So what was the one moment with your husband as he was passing on to the next world? Like, what was the one thing that really touched you and changed you?
It was when I took the little ones. I have 2 grandchildren. I took them out of the room. My daughter asked to take them out of the room. We have 3 daughters. And I watched their beautiful little faces, their little heads, not little, they're adults, they're grown-ups, but they were my babies. And they were they had their hands on him, they had their head on his shoulder, and they were cradling him as we cradle our babies when we bring them into the earth. If we have this privilege of being there when someone leaves, it may not be the right thing for everyone, but it was a beautiful time to watch my girls. And then I left the room and found out that, and he had passed shortly thereafter. But to see it's a connection. It's what we do with what we have.
Yeah. And I just think it's so beautiful, because were you divorced?
Yes.
When this all went, yeah.
7 years divorced. But
he
was the funniest guy on earth. I laughed every day, no matter what was going on in our lives. He was just one of those people. If anyone knows him, they would say the same thing. Yep, Ron was a riot. He was fun. And he didn't take things to that level that the rest of us do. Yes, there were difficult times. No question.
Of course.
Yeah,
But that's another thing that's really amazing about you, is that, I mean, there's so many people, once they're divorced, I'm done. you know, and it makes it hard for the kids and the friends and family. And like, how did you work that out in your heart to make that happen?
I made mistakes. And then I tried to move on from there. And I continue to. I mean, there's still things that, and then after someone passes, you don't then have the opportunity to work through them.
Yeah. Libby Borbiser here says that it's an honor to love someone in the moment of their passing.
Yes.
Kind of beautiful. So what do you do now?
What do I do now?
So like, do you coach people? Like, what do you offer people? What's your thing? What do people come and see you for?
My thing, I have a couple of things, is I'm an interior decorator, but now I'm designing hearts and homes and lives, and taking people through their illness, and or just if they're having a difficult time in life. So we do coaching, one-on-one coaching. And then also in September, we're starting with a program. It's an 8-week program. So going through the 8 steps that I have to get you through something that's difficult. And so that's a mastermind and one-on-one coaching and all sorts of things. If there's a group starting here, so there we do it one-on-one. Otherwise, we meet on Zoom, just like this. Well, this is Zoom. Oh, can't say it's Zoom. This is something else.
Close enough.
Don't you have a book coming out too, Shauna?
Oh, I have a book coming out. Yes. So my book is called "Let's Talk About the C Word: How Cancer Gave More Than It Took."
Amazing.
And so it comes September 24th, and I'm speaking with the Shelf Life Books, and we're going to have the launch there that night from 7 till 9. But jump on my Facebook page and I can tell you all about it as it's coming closer. And there'll be food, there'll be vino, because my story started in Italy. That's where it must always go.
Love it. Now, the other thing is you're a Women Talk member, so we're going to put the word out there, and the tribe will be there for you, my friend.
And one of the key pillars, I have 8, is community. And if you are, say, lonely, or you smoke 7 cigarettes a day, there's no difference.
Mm-hmm.
So you're having a hard time. I mean, smoking is, but you think about smoking and loneliness are similar. Yes. It will get you to the end of your life quicker than most other things that you're doing to your body right now. So having a community, whatever that community looks like, it could be one-on-one, it could be family, it could be your dog, which is another important thing if you have an animal. But a community such as Women Talk, and Brigitte, I know you started this, and Nancy, you jumped on. And so I suspect now with Brigitte, now that the two of you are doing this as a community, that it's better.
I totally endorse that one. I think it is great, and I appreciate that comment. It's so amazing to have a community and to be part of something bigger. Giving back for everybody makes a huge, we're all somewhat heartfelt, and we all need that connection. And I think it makes a big difference, especially for women. Do you find that it's more for women than men?
For me?
Yeah, the community connection part of that. In your coaching and training, have you found that to be more important for women?
Women are better at it.
Ah, okay.
It comes easier, but it's not more important. Men do it, they do it differently. They're more rough and tumble, and try and drag a man to talk about his feelings, and it's not pretty, let me say. However, there are certain ways of pulling people out. You go where they are.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the bathroom, but just stay away from there. But go where a man is, talk about what their interests are, whether it's your child, your grandchild, your lover, your husband or wife, whatever. Go where their interests are, and you'll find a common bond, or just compare it to, or just listen.
Just listen sometimes.
Just listen. And there's
go ahead, sorry.
No, just you can learn how to listen. It's a funny thing. It doesn't come naturally.
Yeah, for sure. And So you've been part of the Women Talk tribe. How has that been for you, that experience?
Please. I wasn't in a depression, which is sometimes harder when you're not in depression because you're just sort of lingering around apathy. To me, apathy is the worst. I haven't been in depression per se, but apathy is just like, meh, I could go, but my toe hurts. So
we all go there.
And so with the women tribe, you just walk in and you are accepted. People, they may or may not talk to you. It doesn't matter, but you just feel, you look across the table and someone just looks at you and goes, yeah. And if you're ready to do a talk, because I did a talk a couple of months ago and I had a moment of fear and I don't really get too afraid. And so I went to one of the members and I grabbed her and I said, I need you now. I need you to ground me. So we went up and she just looked in my eyes and she said, you've got this, Shauna. Stand in this. Ground. Center yourself. Go to womb space. You know who I'm talking about, Miss Bonnie Earl. And all I need is
Bonnie, the amazing Bonnie.
Amazing Bonnie. She's my coach. And so you just get into yourself. And that's what Women Talk does. You get into yourself. And you start to see, oh, I have light where I didn't know. Or I have a dark side that I need to explore with someone who's safe. And which one of these people is safe? And I can go to them and ask for help.
Love it. Love it. Well, we are a better group because you are part of it. I just think that you're a wonderful human being.
Mwah.
Are you booked? Are you scheduled to talk anywhere else soon?
I am. I believe it's the 19th in August in Cochrane, which is super. My kids were raised in Cochrane. We lived out in Bearspaw. And I look forward to, there's a couple of people who haven't had a chance to hear me talk. And I'll be doing the Twirling in Italy talk again. And then also the Twirling in Italy talk led me to changing the introduction on my book. You don't know what's going to happen and where it's going to go that will just change things, make them better, and you have fun. And that's what, well, Brigitte, anyone who jumps on one of these is like, yahoo, turn down the volume,
all by myself. Oh, I must, sometimes I did. The other day I had the Zoom was on and I didn't realize it was on and I'm singing at the top of my lungs at some kind of opera song or something. And all of a sudden I hear this voice, oh, that's pretty good. And I'm like, oh my God, somebody's listening.
That so doesn't surprise me at all.
But you are just so beautiful, and come and listen and watch Shauna in Cochrane in August when she comes and shares her twirling story. And Nancy, it's always a pleasure to see you as well.
Thank you. Lovely to be here.
love having you on board with Women Talk.
All right.
If you would like to be on a show and you are not a Women Talk member, go check it out. womentalk.ca/membership. Go check it out. We have this most amazing tribe from Vancouver to Ottawa. Come and join us. Come and enjoy the stories. Come and share your story, and so much more to come. And for sure, come and join us in Canmore, October 4, 5, 6 this year.
Yes, at the big convention.
The big one. All right. Well, thank you for joining me today, ladies, and have a fabulous Friday.
Yahoo!